Alright, hey guys, remember CCG back in the video with the student retesting the new FIENDSMITH archetype and just showing you guys some combos that I was able to find and really just showing you what the deck is able to do at the current moment. And you can see that the deck and the extra deck are pretty thin. Completely building a deck profile just yet until it's being released in the TCG or until we get newer cards. Just because right now we have a bit of a template of what we can use, but we're going to start with that. So we're going to activate our FIENDSMITH here. Use the effect to get our FIENDSMITH track this. So you're going to see a lot of the combos deviate around this card, the FIENDSMITH, because this is like the main monster of the deck, and we're going to be using the FIENDSMITH track this. So here it lets you search out a light fiend monster, and the best target for this currently is Fabled Lurie, just because Fabled Lurie, when it's discarded to the grave, you can special summon it. So once you get it out, you can actually get out the Link 1, which is the FIENDSMITH Requiem. Then you can activate Requiem here in order to get out the FIENDSMITH once again. You can use the FIENDSMITH's effect to shuffle back a light fiend monster back into the deck in order to get himself out. That's exactly what we're going to do. Then we're going to link away into the FIENDSMITH Sequentia. Activate Sequentia's effect here in order to fusion summon, and we'll get ourselves Lacrimosa. Then we can activate Lacrimosa's effect in order to get the FIENDSMITH. And then using the FIENDSMITH track this other effect, which is when it's in the grave, it serves as basically a fusion card, a polymerization. We're going to be able to fuse these 3 cards away in order to get ourselves the boss monster of the deck in the form of FIENDSMITH Dies Array. So then we can use the effect of the other fusion monster here just to do some burn damage because it was sent to the grave. And then we can use the Link monster to attach itself. And this will give us 2 negates, 2 card negates. And then we do have another light fiend monster as a target in case they do get rid of this. But otherwise, I'm just going to show you guys how the negate kind of works here. So here we're just going to let our opponent get some monsters out, just get 2 cards out, and then from there we can just negate the 2 cards in the field. It doesn't have to be 2 monsters, it just says any 2 face-up cards, but in this instance I'm just going to be negating 2 cards. And yeah, just showing you that the negate actually works. So pretty cool boss monster, but let's go to the next combo. Alright guys, so the second combo that I have for you is again another 1-card combo using the FIENDSMITH. So now that you guys have kind of seen how the combo goes, I'm just going to be able to speed it up a little bit. We're just going to use them again, get ourselves the FIENDSMITH, track this, get the Fabled monster that special summons itself out, go into the Link 1, use the effect here in order to get the FIENDSMITH once again, then bring out the other FIENDSMITH, and we can link into the FIENDSMITH Sequentia, activate Sequentia's effect in order to fusion summon. We just got to make sure that we leave the FIENDSMITH in the grave, just so that we can target it, bring it back, and then you can exceed here. So here you're going to see with the next combos that you do have options of what you can go into, but one of the options here is the DDD Wave Hiking Caesar. When a spell trap or monster effect is activated that special summons a monster, you can attach material and negate it. So nothing too powerful, but it is a spell trap monster summon negate, so that's pretty cool to see. And then the Link monster is just kind of here. It's not doing too much. This card can do something later on when you bring out a FIENDSMITH monster, the fusion monster, and attach it that way. But otherwise, it's not doing anything too much here. So let's go to the next combo. Okay guys, so this is the third combo that I have for you using the FIENDSMITH. So here we're going to be activating the FIENDSMITH. Use the effect to get the FIENDSMITH track this. Get ourselves the Fabled monster. Special summon it out. Here go into the Link 1. Ditch itself in order to get the FIENDSMITH. Then we're going to get itself out here. So here is where you can just exceed into what we're trying to get out here, but you can extend and go into the Link 2 and then just fusion summon in order to get ourselves the FIENDSMITH Lacrimosa, and then from there we can exceed. So that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. Go into Beatrice here. Then we're going to activate Beatrice's effect in order to ditch the rollback, transaction rollback from the deck. Then during our opponent's turn here, we can actually use Beatrice's effect once again in order to pitch the Ghost Meets Girl, a Masterful Mayakashi Shiranai Saga. Then we can activate Rollback's effect. And in doing so, we're actually going to be able to lock our opponent out of using their hand, deck, or extra deck. Basically just special summoning monsters from any of those forms and of any of those locations. Pretty powerful floodgate. Using this transaction rollback, you're able to avoid the cost of this card and just activate its effect. So then our opponent can still special summon from the grave, so they're going to be able to get out the Fabled Lurie, but then from there it's not going to be able to do too much. But yeah, let's go to another combo. Alright guys, so the next combo that I have for you is a 2-card combo using FIENDSMITH track this and the FIENDSMITH. So we're going to activate the FIENDSMITH here in order to get our trap. So here the only thing that this monster really does, besides like we're going to be able to utilize its effect, but we're mainly just going to want to get the trap here just so I can show you guys what this trap is able to do, because it's a pretty powerful trap for the deck. So we're going to go into the link 1, get ourselves the other copy of the Fiendsmith, use the effect here in order to get the Fiendsmith here as well. Then we can attach itself here, so this is kind of just showing you how to utilize the Requiem before we get rid of it. So the great thing about the Fiendsmith is that it does have an effect where it lets you target a equip card and one monster in the field and send it to the grave. So it's a non-destructive removal, very strong, and we're going to be able to utilize it for this specific combo because we don't need it for the fusion monster. So now we're going to go into Lacrimosa, activate Lacrimosa's effect, get the Fiendsmith. Then we're going to fusion summon using the track this here in order to get our Dice Array. Burn for 1200 by just shuffling back the Fiendsmith. Then we're going to be able to attach our Link monster, and then we have the Fiendsmith and Paradisum. You're going to want to use Fiendsmith Dice Array effect here in order to negate 2 cards in the field. And the nice thing about Sequentia is that Dice Array cannot be targeted as well, so that's pretty powerful. But you're going to mainly just see me use the trap here, which is super strong, as you're able to target your fusion monster here, and just since that's the only Fiendsmith monster or level 7 or higher life feed monster you control, then you can send all cards on the field to the grave. That's exactly what we're going to do. And sadly, that does mean you're going to lose out on your Link monster, but being able to clear the board seems pretty worth it, especially since it's not destruction removal. Pretty strong way to just clear up your opponent's board after negating their card. Alright guys, let's go to another combo. Okay guys, so with this combo, we're going to be using Tour Guide from the Underworld and the Fiendsmith. So we're going to normal summon the Tour Guide, get ourselves the Fabled Kushano. And the main reason we're just running this because it is a Fiend Light that's a level 3. So we're going to get ourselves the Fiendsmith Requiem, get the Fiendsmith, use the effect here, get it out. Then we use Track this effect, basically what we did before. And then we can Infusion Summon into our Lacrimosa. So you can see there's a lot more bodies on the board, so you could end your turn here with an Appaloosa and burn for 1200. It's nothing too crazy that doesn't fully utilize like what the deck can do. But just understanding that it's a 2-card combo, being to able at least get 4 negates out of it is pretty cool. But now let's go to the final combo that I have for you guys. Okay guys, so the final combo that I have for you is really a 2-card combo, but having this Fiendsmith and Paradisum in your hand just from the bat means that you don't have to search it out. And you're going to see just how much it can add to this combo. But otherwise, you can just think of it as a 2-card combo, as we're only going to be using this trap at the end here. But we're going to be using Tour Guide's effect here, get the Fabled Kushano, then use the Fiendsmith in order to get the track this. Go into our Link 1, ditch it to get the Fiendsmith. Then we can use Trax's effect here in order to get out the same Fabled monster. We can link away into Fiendsmith Sequentia. Use the Fiendsmith's effect here in order to get it out. Then we can exceed into our Beatrice. So we're going to be able to ditch a card here, the rollback of course. Then we're going to be able to fusion summon the Lacrimosa. Activate Lacrimosa's effect in order to get out the Fiendsmith. And then use our Fiendsmith Trax's effect in order to fusion summon using the 3 monsters on the board. And that'll get us our Disarray. Then we can burn for the 1200. Set him up with the Sequentia so he can't be targeted, and also 2 negates basically. Well, 2, he has to do it at the same time, so just know you can't save 1 negate. You're just gonna have to negate those 2 cards at the same time here. But then we can set our trap. We can activate Beatrice's effect in order to pitch the other trap. Then we're going to activate Rollback's effect to lock our opponent out of summoning monsters from hand deck or extra deck. So he's going to get our Allure here. I'm going to negate these 2 cards on the board. Then I can use the Fiendsmith and Paradisum just to clear the board. So I'm just kind of showing you guys the amount of disruptions you can do. You can negate 2 monsters on the board. You can lock your opponent out of the extra deck and hand. And you can use the Fiendsmith and Paradisum to just clear the board. So this deck has a good amount of potential. I think we just need to see like what really sticks with this deck. But I hope these combos got you guys thinking and that you enjoyed them. But otherwise, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.